Continuing my series, it's actually just the second thing that I've reviewed that's not as you'd expect. The Oxford all-weather design motorcycle micro clock. Well, that's what I got it for anyway, for motorcycling, as I'm sure many people will. With an ice alert, permanent date display, large glove friendly buttons, backlit display, monitors ambient temperature, it's got a thermometer. Just to say how absolutely disappointed I was, how naff the damn thing is. In order to make it waterproof, they have put this kind of slightly rubbery plastic coating on it, which makes it almost unreadable. I mean, the contrast there is really bad, and it's a very ordinary size of digital display. So if you have that on your handlebars on your motorcycle, I would say it's really quite dangerous. In order to switch mode, there's this glove-friendly, supposedly, button here, which cycles through the, that says 15 degrees C, by the way, cycles through, if I'm just out of, yes, I'm not quite in focus there, but as you can see, I mean, that's right up against it. It picks up a lot of reflections off that surface. There just isn't the contrast, really. The other thing I found was actually this particular one, after some weeks had gone by with it, just I hadn't actually got around to fitting it to the motorcycle, I found that when I came to fit it to the motorbike, it wasn't working properly. As with so many digital clock displays, they get faults on them. I didn't even bother trying to get my money back because it just wasn't worth even posting it back to them. And I found instead an old clock that I had, just an old cheap kitchen clock that I had, which I put, I found that it fitted into this lid from a little jar. And I found a piece of plastic to put over the top, some super glue round the surface of it. While it was a bigger sheet of plastic, I just stuck it down to the plastic and super glued around the edge with it on a larger sheet, and then just cut round the outside. This doesn't do fancy things like the temperature. It hasn't got a thermometer and things like that. It does have the date. But I elected to just have a simple clock because that's really all that I needed when I get on my motorbike, is to have the clock. And of course, as you can see, that is a nice bright display. It's so much bigger than this display, and I mean, just to make, you know, remind you of the contrast, this is sold for that kind of purpose. I won't go into where I got it from, they're available all over the place. The other thing that really pisses me off is everywhere you look at this, instead of getting photographs of it on the websites, you get this drawing of it, which shows a crystal clear display, and there's, you know, measurements on there, but that's actually very misleading, I think. I mean, it was round about 20 quid, 20 Great British pounds, and you can probably pick up, you know, a cheap digital watch that's waterproof for £5 or £10. Take the strap off it or strap it to your motorbike, and away you go, and it would be so much cheaper and actually so much better. You might even find that, you know, with a watch with having buttons around the side, you could use something like that. The other thing about this was, in order to put the backlight on, so you're riding along in the dark, in order to put the backlight on, you're supposed to have to hold in the display button with it. There you go, and in fact that's one of the things that goes wrong. Instead of just the light coming on, it changes mode, which it shouldn't do. But that's what you have to do. You hold the button in for 3 seconds and then the backlight stays on momentarily. I'd rather actually do without a backlight on this one. I haven't got any sort of lighting on it whatsoever. Most of my motorcycling I do during the day, and I really just want to be able to look down and see a clock in a quick glance, and it's probably even safer that I don't have any buttons to fiddle with on this. If I want to adjust the time, if it goes out of timing, I can put some little holes in the back of there to get to the buttons, the little buttons that I know are deep inside the gubbins round the back of this. So there you go, the Oxford Essential Rider equipment from Oxford Products is actually rather bad.